Hey everybody, this is Joe. Thank you for watching my Giga Texas construction update video. Another great day here at Giga Texas, and even though it's the 3rd of July, tomorrow is Independence Day. Happy birthday to the United States of America. And we've also had a lot of great news in the last 24 hours that I want to pass along for Tesla. Also, some great news for some pretty important members of the Tesla community. And I have a very interesting opportunity here at Giga Texas for myself today as well. So what better way to celebrate Independence Day than to have the newest U.S. citizen, and that is Alexander Merz. Now, if you're in the Tesla community, you know who she is, but just in case you don't, just want to let you know that she played a momentous role in the retail investors voting for Shareholders Day. As of yesterday, she is a brand new U.S. citizen, so congratulations to Alexander Merz, or also known as Tesla Boomer Mama. As mentioned, the last 24 hours, we found out that Tesla did exceptionally well despite some significant headwinds, a lot of doubts, significant construction at all of their facilities around the world. But they were able to produce 411,000 vehicles. They delivered 444,000 vehicles. This is well above analyst estimates. And it also helped to reduce some of the inventory that they had been building up, all of which will help with the bottom line for the second quarter results coming up on the 23rd of July. And I'm looking forward to hearing more, but congratulations to Tesla. And building on the momentum of the new vehicle production and delivery numbers, Tesla Energy is also starting to hit its stride, and they hit 9.4 gigawatt hours of energy storage deployments in the second quarter, which, as Nick Cruz-Pantane shows in this posting, is an increase of about 5.4 gigawatt hours, which smashes the previous Q1 record of 4.053 megawatt hours. So the energy storage is really starting to hit its stride, and this is going to be another important input into Tesla's profits going forward. So congratulations to the Tesla Energy team as well. Now, when you're doing an operation as large as Tesla has around the world, it takes a lot of work by family members, and that brings along a lot of well-deserved pride. And I had posted my congratulations to Tesla, and I got a great response from one of my followers, Offworld EV. And he wrote, "My son is on the Cybertruck team, pouring himself into this achievement, working tenaciously to accomplish astounding outcomes. So proud of him and all his colleagues around the world who work so hard for these amazing results." And I don't think I could have said it any better. So, of course, with all of that, I just want to extend my personal congratulations to a remarkable team. It's overcome some tremendous challenges this year, especially in the second quarter. We had a lot of headwinds, a lot of maybe vocal doubters along the way. And I know here at Giga Texas, but also around the world, just managing construction, building out their capabilities while doing production and continuing to ramp new products is an amazing feat. And I don't want that to go unnoticed. So again, congratulations to an outstanding quarter. And the final bit of news that I want to pass along is I got an invitation from the Director of Manufacturing here at Giga Texas to tour the factory today. And I thought I would try to get a drone flight in and then do the tour. I'm not exactly sure what I will be able to see or how many questions I can ask or if I can pass along that information. But I will do my best to let you know how it went. But what a way to celebrate Independence Day here in the United States with a tour of Giga Texas. So I'm really looking forward to that. So with that in mind, I may or may not be flying on the 5th of July. We'll have to see how things go. But in the meantime, let's get the drone in the air. Let's fly around. Let's see what Giga Texas looks like on this day before Independence Day here in the United States. If you would like to support my efforts, please consider using these links, which will be in the video description. Don't forget to hit the like and subscribe buttons on my YouTube video, as this helps as well. Thank you. My drones are ready and raring to go. Let's go flying over Giga Texas. Well, good morning from a beautiful Giga Texas and the celebration for the Independence Day holiday here in the United States. The flags that they had flying off of the crane are a very nice touch. And for those wondering, I have heard on good authority that permanent flagpoles are on the way for Giga Texas. So we'll be watching for that in the near future. So as I pull away to the southwest, a great view of the sun coming up over Giga Texas on this early morning, and a great view of the West Warehouse on wheels and the material staging yard off to the right. But I want to first start here in this triangular parking area, and not only can we see some of the earthwork that is being done, some of the materials being spread on the surface on the left-hand side of the screen, and of course, more of the materials such as the steel corrugated pipes and some of the concrete items on the left-hand side of the screen. I want to give you a good view of this work here and then turn back towards where we have seen the boring company doing preparation work for the Proof Rock 3 dismantling. So as I continue to turn back towards the factory, bring the drone down a little bit lower altitude and see some of the earthwork that is underway here with some of this dirt being piled up. We'll get closer to where the boring company was removing all of their items, the gantries, the Proof Rock 3 tunnel boring machine itself, a lot of the supporting equipment. And as you can tell, other than this metal ramp and also a few of the tunnel liner segments, pretty much all of the equipment has been removed. So that is one more thing bringing to an end the work of the boring company tunneling here at Giga Texas, at least for now. As I turn back towards the material staging location, there's a few things I want to try to get down low and show you. These blue and white items, you can also see a little bit of the orange sticking out from underneath. I think this is related to additional smaller scale stamping presses, or at least something similar to that, and we're waiting for those to be installed inside at some point. We can fly over the mobile superchargers, take a look at all of these items, some of the ventilation ducting on the left with, it looks like, some veins in those pipes for control of the airflow and additional valves that were on the ground. And as we get closer to this workshop, we can see some of these blue funnel type items, some of the blue pipes, and additional materials, including on the left, the white poles for more of the lighting that will be installed around Giga Texas. And this fabrication shop has been responsible for putting together a lot of the large pipes that are being used for the cooling system. We also see some very large green pipes here. One of two of them have end caps, so not sure what those are for, but something I'll be continuing to monitor. Passing the TKS trailer for the modular paint system that is being installed on the second floor of the body in white. We see another one of the pipe manufacturing workshops. crossing over the road to the outbound lot, we see that a lot of the Cybertrucks are stockpiled along with many of the Model Ys on the upper right-hand side of the screen. As we continue to fly to the north, a good view of the sun coming up over the factory in the distance, and many more Cybertrucks waiting for their chance to be moved off-site. And on this north end lot, we see some more of the Cybertrucks waiting for pickup as well. Now, we're going to see for the first time a new location for new vehicles. It's on the top of the multi-level parking garage. We'll see a lot of Model Ys over there, in addition to more on the east old testing and calibration lot. But there's a great view of the west outbound lot, what it looks like today, the number of Cybertrucks, and also there are some Model Ys as well. Now, as we mentioned in the intro, we have the results for the second quarter deliveries and production. We know that production was less than deliveries, so they've reduced their inventory. So one of the things that we'll be watching for over the coming weeks and months here in the third quarter is, do they start ramping the production up higher so that they can start to keep that inventory from dropping any further. But as we stop here at the end-of-line facility and the temporary, or at least the small test track along the west side, I can say that there is a desire for a larger test track in the future, but I don't know if that will come to pass or not. But I think that in the future, that will be something that we will be seeing at Giga Texas, but that may be quite some time from now. As we fly up over this large clearing and some of those water reclamation trailers, another one here in blue, also some work around the Boring Company site as they continue to dismantle the operations. Now, the 3 silos and the grout factory, which were on that concrete segment on the left bottom, have been removed from the site. We saw that starting on my previous video. As I zoom in, we can see some of the equipment that's being stockpiled here. It looks like there may be some conduit. And I'll take this opportunity to give you a great view inside the tunnel. It's well lit. We can see the rings with the light inside, but what we do not see is the drivable surface for the roadway that will allow the vehicles to transfer from the west side or the east side of the highway underneath the highway to the west side where we are located. So that is something that I know that the materials are being stockpiled. In fact, we'll see some of it underneath the drone as I pull away. But the work to install those road segments has yet to begin. So another thing to be watching to see if the tunnel will be operational in July as was stated. So let's get ready to cross over the highway, take a good view of the sunrise that's coming over the east side of Giga Texas, and a great view here of the south end, the Cyber Pond River Road, and the entire glass south-facing part of the factory, which is mostly completed with the exception of some of the trim pieces for the glass. As we get into the southeast corner, I'm going to give you a good view of some of the materials, the rebar, some of the rebar cages. Looks like we may have some generators on the left-hand side of the screen, a crane getting ready to get back into work, and of course the large brown pipes that are part of the cooling system and what will take the cooling water from the extension on the left to the cooling platform on the right. A lot of work on the ground level as well as the sides and the ventilation portions of that plant. Now, one of the things that I wanted to show you as I come up low over the roof is that they are actually in the process of pulling a lot of the heavy cabling that will be part of the electrical system that serves the supercomputer cluster on the south end. You can see some of the black cabling here in a loop along this firewall, and many of the workers that are in the process of pulling the cables through. You can also see some off to the right on the parapet wall. And then the rest of it is following these tracks that will give us a pretty good idea of the direction and how many of the cables will eventually come through this section. You can also see these 4 kind of ducting that are semicircular, and then they help to route those wires from the racks down into this portion of the building. As I continue to fly around here, just give you another view of where they are temporarily lining up some of the cables along this parapet wall as they pull them through into that section. And we'll see later in the video more conduit work towards the north near Tesla Road. This is a great view of the current situation with the insulation panels being installed on top of the roof on this section of the factory. Looks like there's pretty much one more smaller rectangular section needing those insulation panels installed, and then along this center right-hand side of the screen. We can see a lot of the workers with those panels getting ready for the beginning of the day and moving those panels over for installation. So ultimately, soon we should see all of these insulation panels installed on this section of the roof. Now, as I bring the drone down, is a great view of one of the 3 tunnels with some of the screw-type piers and the rebar cages that I believe are going to be used as sort of a pile cap on top of those screw-type piers, and allow the entranceways and access for these tunnels. And we do see some tunneling or trenching underway next to the tunnel, and this is most likely going to bring maybe electrical conduit through this area. More generators on the bottom right-hand side of the screen providing power for the moment into this facility. And as we cross the entrance way, we get a good view of the glass and some of the trim that has been installed along the perimeter grade beam and the other sections of the glass. As we turn around, I'm trying to give you a good view inside of the work that is going on. And there's a lot of equipment, a lot of kind of galvanized ducting on the ground level. And we can see that mezzanine where that supercomputer cluster will be installed. Also, many of the very large pipes, including the ones right in the middle top of the screen, that bring that cooling water into this section so that they can cool the supercomputer cluster, which, as we've mentioned before, by the end of this year, it'll be about 130 megawatts, and then within 18 months, about 500 megawatts worth of power that will be needed for the supercomputer cluster. And that's why the cooling system is so enormous. As we pass by the section where the old and the new wall panels come together, we can see the Cybertruck exit point out of the factory for now, and a good look along the west side of the factory. So I'm going to bring the drone up and reposition across the roof over to the east side, and let's take a look more at the cooling plant. There's a great view of those cooling pipes, the large trench that they will go through, and some of the other pipe segments on the left and the right-hand side waiting for installation. Also a great view of the 6 fan units and the ducting on the roof around those fans. Also the ventilation portions of the wall to allow that airflow in so that when the fans are working, they can use the water to cool the supercomputer cluster. Great view of those 4 large tanks as well, and a lot of recycling trucks next to stamping. The pond that is lined here, we can see some changes, one of which that trench at the bottom, which will probably have a pipe for testing, and also that pad where there may be some electronic equipment or maybe pumps installed on that part of the pond. As we get over towards the multi-level parking garage, we do see a change, and that is there are new Model Ys that are being stored for the first time on the roof section of the building. Now on the bottom floors, we see what looks to be either employees or contract vehicles or both, and they extend most of the length of the building now, with the exception of this east side, which looks like there may still be some work going on inside. Also, some of the grass seed on the ground next to the base of the multi-level parking garage is trying to turn green. I'm sure with all of the heat, that's going to be very difficult for the moment. As we fly along Robotic Avenue on the left-hand side of the screen, we can see more trench work on the north face of the multi-level parking garage. And as I bring the drone down over this parking lot, it's a great view of this east testing calibration lot, at least what's remaining of it, the helicopter pad, the Rainmaker, and the wind tunnel. Good view of the number of Cybertrucks that are being stored in this kind of the bottom left-hand side of the screen. This area is fenced off and is segregated from the right-hand side of the screen where we see all of the Model Ys. So anyway, that's a good look at where all of the new vehicles are today. As I zoom in here next to the east secondary entrance, we can see those the orange pipes providing cooling through that section of the receiving doors. And then speaking of receiving doors, it looks like we are finally getting work here on this dirt section, more trenching, most likely for piping. We see some of the concrete vaults next to the receiving doors and the load levelers that are kind of in the upraised position. And hopefully we'll see this completed soon. A lot of castings on the ground, and they continue all the way along this berm, some of which are in rack mounts. And I understand that this is one of the areas that they are looking for a solution at some point to improve what they do as far as processing of the castings, but that is something that will happen in the future. The Baghouse Foundation and steelwork continues. I did get a chance to confirm that the steel is galvanized on that structure. And of course, more trenching and some additional pipe work. It looks like it may be the smaller diameter steel corrugated pipe being installed along the length of the wall in this section. So overall, a great view of the work that is going on here on the east side of casting. All of the castings that are being stockpiled here as well, and how this northeast corner looks. Now, I'm going to fly away for a moment. I wanted to show you the work that's going on with the conduit installation here on the north side of Tesla Road. See some of that work on the right-hand side of the screen, and here on the left-hand of the screen, we see additional work on this conduit. Now, all of this will connect on the south side of the electrical switchyard, work its way through this section, go underneath Tesla Road, and connect into that northeast corner of casting. And then these wires that will go through the conduit will connect up through those rack mounts along the east parapet wall, the entire length of the building, and connect onto that south end where we saw all the work being done pulling the cables. This is a great view of the Megapack site. And just because the Tesla Energy just did such a great job on the second quarter, I thought I would show the Megapacks and just kind of symbolize the amount of work worldwide that Tesla Energy is doing, and how the Tesla Energy stationary storage is becoming a large part of their overall business. As I come down lower, it's a great view of the current conduit installation that is going on here in these trenches, to the concrete vaults that have been placed, and the concrete vaults have the conduit that goes through these sections that have already been paved over, through this section on the parking lot underneath this access road, and then to this location. And much of the connections beyond this point have already been made and the concrete repoured. So right now the effort is to get the conduit done and then bring the wires through to connect the full length of the factory. This is a great view of the northeast side of casting, and we do see next to these racks and the castings on the ground the receiving doors that are being reconfigured. There used to be 3, now there are 5. And there continues to be work on the inside, reconfiguring that entire north portion of the casting machine structure. As we cross the north part of the paint shop and the plastics manufacturing section, we come over to the 4680 cell production portion of the factory. Most of the construction, at least the major construction on the inside, is completed. They are still doing some work on the drywall and interior walls But the 4680 production was definitely in operation today. I can definitely confirm that, and the work continues to expand that production capability, and we should expect to see all that done later this year. Now I'm going to stop here, show you these orange flexible conduit. This is being installed all the way through this berm using horizontal drilling, and there's the drill right now. And this is all helping to bring fiber optic cable along this entire section of the factory. And I think this is also going to be part of the supercomputer cluster once that is done, to be able to handle all of the data that will be passing through this section of the factory. As we get to this location, we see some more excavation work and some of the pumps and the pipes that have been sort of continuously in this area for several years. Now this is part of water treatment, and I understand that there is a new water treatment plant on the inside of the factory near this location. So the work that we're seeing here may be related to that. And of course, the Model Y is exiting the factory at the main factory exit point on the bottom of the screen. I can say during my tour earlier today, the production lines were really moving quickly, at least from what I could tell. And a good view across the roof over to those flags on the crane. And of course, the end of line facility, outbound lot, and more on that west support facility area. As I continue to pull away, it's a great view of Giga Texas, the activity with the parking lot on this 3rd of July, day before the long 4th of July holiday here at the United States. And some additional looks here at the die shop, the battery cathode plant, the crash test facility, and the cell test lab facilities here at the battery cathode complex of structures. So that's a quick look across the site here on the day before Independence Day. As always, thank you very much for watching. Have a great weekend.